Hello, my Lynn Things family and friends. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's your girl Lynn here, and it is March 8th. Happy Women's Day, guys. Of course, we are in Women's History Month, and to carry on with some things that kind of pertains to women history, today I will be doing another. Well, I don't know how quick it's going to be, but another reading from Miss Viola Davis's book, Finding Me. You guys know I am not reading the book in its entirety, but I am trying to read bits and pieces to you guys because it is a very interesting book, and I want you to still be able to purchase it and have some of these things, still new to you. And plus, I don't own the rights to the book, so of course, we don't want to read her whole story in its entirety because we want you guys to still be able to purchase it if you like. But like I said, I am reading parts of the book. And so we left off on part 6. So thank you guys so very much for coming every time I upload another part. I'm sorry, like it's been like spaces between because of work and just doing daily things, I don't get to do the readings as often as I would like, but I don't want to fall off either. So I want to be able to kind of keep you guys up. So I'm going to try to read a lot. Now, some of the chapters are not that long, but this next chapter that we are in is pretty long. So I'm not sure how much of chapter 7 I will be reading to you guys. But like I say, I'm going to try to read some parts that I feel like I want to share with you guys. We had like a happy note, the last one on chapter 6, where the girls won a contest. Yay. Which was some good news. And so we want to pick up kind of where we left off, but as you know, it's not been an easy road for Miss Davis and her sisters, and so we're just gonna kind of delve into more of the story. You guys know, for story time, I do light a candle. Right now I have one of my lemon candles burning already in the room. It's smelling so amazing. So it has been a rainy day all day today here in the Shy, y'all. Oh my goodness, rain all day. So it's kind of like one of those days you want to kind of cozy up, maybe get your blanket, watch a movie, or listen to a book like you're going to be doing for a few minutes here with me. Maybe get a warm drink, cup of tea, or something like that to enjoy. So we're going to get started with our next reading. Like I say, chapter 7. This chapter is titled The Sisterhood. And the quote at the top says, "A happy family is but an earlier heaven." This quote is by George Bernard Shaw. And that is so true. I definitely love my sisters. I so miss my twin sister. But growing up, we were like, thick as thieves, always together, always doing things together. So, of course, you know, um, your family is kind of, especially if, you stuck together and things like that, kind of like your first, I guess, peek into heaven. But here we go, guys. So it says, "My sisters became my platoon. We were all in a war, fighting for significance. Each of us was a soldier fighting for our value, our worth. We were all in it together. We all needed one another. None of us could fight individually. I know I didn't have enough strength. We were fighting a war with seen and unseen enemies. Regardless, our commitment was to the whole. It was a together or nothing ethos. Eventually, we would separate, and soon, or some would be left on the battleground intact but missing something. But as children, we were in it together. Diane, the oldest, Anita, 1 year behind her, Dolores, 2 years younger, and me. 3 years later, 3 years her junior, sorry. We all wanted out, and our bonds of sisterhood helped make a way. Diane was the brains, Anita was the brawn, Dolores was the mastermind. Me, I was the one who could either drag the whole team down or up miraculously in the final hour. We were transformed by Miss Tyson. Then, winning the drama skit contest shifted our lives because our sister platoon had seen a physical manifestation of winning our war. The great memory of winning that contest, my acting debut that started me on my journey toward becoming an actress, is accompanied by recollection of that red plastic bat that we had won and its handiness as a rat killer. Rats are a huge part of that memory of winning. I'm terrified of rats to this very day. Our growing up years were speckled with good moments. Happiness for me was Valentine's Day. My father knew how to celebrate Valentine's Day and other major holidays. He bought lots of chocolate, and believe it or not, for Easter, he bought Easter eggs and gave us cards. Christmas, especially when we were younger, was festive, and we would always put up a tree. Once I got to be about 11 or 12, there weren't many gifts. But still, we had a Christmas tree, and my dad was the happy drunk when he would play his guitar. I was 7 or 8 when my dad got us a pool table. It was a full size pool table. My dad bought it because he liked playing pool at the bar. I loved playing pool. After a while, that pool table was jacked up, and we never had another one. But sometimes we would go to the bar back in the day when parents could take kids to the bar hmm, and play darts and pool and be treated to a Sprite and potato chips. One time when I was about 9 years old, I succeeded. I had left. I'm sorry, y'all, let me go back up. Okay, these moments, happy moments, would soon be followed by trauma. The rage of my dad's alcoholic binges, violence, poverty, hunger, and isolation. In my child's mind, I was the problem. I would retreat to the bathroom, put something up against the door so no one would come in, and I'd sit for an inordinate amount of time staring at my fingers and hands and try to erase everything in my mind. I wish I could elevate out of my body, leave it. One time, when I was about 9 years old, I succeeded. I left it, my body that is. In a matter of speaking, I floated up to the ceiling, looking down at myself, observing my hair, my legs, and my face. Then I faced myself, staring directly into me. Wow, I loved it. It was a magical secret power, only I didn't see myself as magical or powerful. I just felt free. It was my way of disappearing. It was my high. I couldn't always control this out of body sense, but when I could, it was beyond fabulous. The power to leave my body, to be relieved of Viola for a while, was an ever present image that followed me for decades. We dreamed away our problems. When dad was drunk or there was turmoil, my sister Dolores and I would disappear into the bedroom and become Jaja and Jaji, rich white Beverly Hill matrons with big jewels and little chihuahuas. We would play this game for hours. Oh, Jaja, Jaji would say, I bought this fabulous house and my husband bought me this beautiful diamond ring. We played with such detail that it became transcendent. We played with the backdrop noise of our mom being beaten and screaming in pain. But we believed we were in that world until eventually Dolores would break the spell, saying, You're not Jaja, you're poor. You're on welfare, you don't have diamonds. We'd fight and the game of pretend would be over until the next time there was a family tumult. It was how we escaped. We transformed into people we felt were better, people who existed in a world we only dreamed of, women who were not us. We played for fun, and out of desperation, Jaja and Jaji were our pretend protection. The majority of my most joyful memories were from my relationship with my sisters. We dreamed together so fiercely. We started a band called the Hot Shots. We were trying to be the Jackson Five. We never wrote a song or played an instrument. We had no money to take lessons, but what we lacked in ability, we made up for in drive and imagination. Dolores was on the drums, Diane was the lead singer, I played the tambourine, and Anita was on guitar. We could pretend and escape into our imaginations. My sisters and I continued to navigate our world. We continued to figure it out on our own in the absence of parents. Our parents were just trying to keep us alive the only way that they knew how. They controlled what they could and injected ritual, joy, hope in little ways. For example, we were gifted new clothes at least once a year on Easter. Despite the Pissy beds, almost never having any clean clothes, rats jumping on our beds at night, broken furniture, food insecurity, shoddy plumbing, no phone. We all got a brand new outfit for Easter. The potency and power of tradition is deep. My mom would break out the hot comb, a metal curling iron, and straightening comb that she would put on the stovetop fire. With blue magic pomade, she would proceed to straighten and curl our hair for Easter. It was a sadistic ritual as I saw it. She would slap and yell at us, "Keep yourself still. I'll burn you if you squirm." When that hot straightening comb hit that greased piece of hair, sizzle and fell on your ear or your face, you had to squirm. Sometimes she'd get to talking and leave the comb. Oh my goodness. The curling iron on that fire too long, those hotter than hot irons would burn that black hair. Keep yourself still. In the end, we looked really cute in our maxi dresses and new shoes, but man, did we look greasy. We didn't care. We loved it. My parents gave us candy, some money, and we would stand in the yard waiting for anyone to pass by so they could see how cute we looked. Finally, Diane came up with the idea of going to church. She said that's what they did down south. The only churches in Central Falls, though, were Catholic. We got up the courage to go since most people we knew in Central Falls were Catholic. We went into Holy Trinity Church and sat in the back. From the moment we stepped into the church, all eyes were on us. I thought everyone was mesmerized by how cute we looked. We pretended or tried to learn the songs and different responses. Then, prompted by Diane, we went up for communion. Just say amen and put this bread in your mouth, she told us. I was excited about getting a little piece of bread. When the time came to take the bread of Christ, the priest leaned down and whispered, "Are you Catholic?" Diane, with her mouth still open, ready, shook her head truthfully. "No." He motioned for us to leave. I then realized why we had been so closely observed. After that, we took our Easter money to Leroy Theater to watch a double feature and eat either hot dogs or large bags of M&Ms, which were 75 cents for a double feature and 35 cents for a big bag of M&Ms. The other holiday we loved so much was Halloween. We would be the first ones out trick or treating and the last ones home. The goal was to get as much candy as we could. We would fill one bag, go out with another one. We never really had costumes, so we would just put on mom's makeup on our nose, our forehead, our cheeks. That'd be it. There was no money for anything else. One year we made it a point of going out before it got dark. We ran out with our pillowcases and paper bags. It was the best idea because we were the only kids out there. We saw nobody else. Absolutely no one. We were going to get the best candy because we were first. We knocked on our first door. It was a father and a mother with about 3 kids, and we screamed, "Trick or treat!" The man looked completely startled and burst out laughing. "Halloween is tomorrow. You all come on, you came on the wrong day." His wife and kids came to the door and proceeded to laugh hysterically at us. We ran away fast and did not stop until we got home. Some battles we won, survived together, and emerged with laughter and perspective. And some brutal ones, like sexual abuse, we lost. Sexual abuse back in the day didn't have a name. The abusers were called dirty old men, and the abused were called fasts or heifers. It was shrouded in silence and invisible trauma and shame. It's hard to process how pervasive it is. What made us sitting ducks was our lack of supervision and lack of knowledge. It was a different time. We were left sometimes with older boys, neighbors who would babysit us. They would unzip their pants while they played horsey with us. My 3 sisters and I, Danielle wasn't born yet, were often left unsupervised with my brother in our apartment. Sexual curiosity would cross the line. He would chase us. We would lose. And eventually, other inappropriate behavior occurred that had a profound effect on us. I stored it in a place in my psyche that felt safely hidden. By hiding it, I could actually pretend that it didn't happen, but I know deep down it did. Once again, more secrets, layers upon layers of deep, dark ones. Trauma, crap, mortar mixed with memories that have been filtered, edited for survival, and entangled with generational secrets. Somewhere buried underneath all that waste lives me, the me fighting to breathe, the me wanting so badly to feel alive. But this is the journey. The only weapon I have to blast through it all is forgiveness. Dolores, Anita, Diane, and I were sexually abused. I told my mom as I uttered my brother's name in the same breath. He chased us in the apartment. He was aggressive. We were scared. We were young. Mom, there was penetration with Anita and Diane. Me and Dolores were just touched. There was silence when I was trying to explain this to my mom. She didn't move. It's ironic that she was sitting in my beautiful kitchen of marble and porcelain with the sub zero refrigerator and high ceilings, and it meant absolutely nothing compared to the largeness of the truth of what was happening. So Viola was telling this story to her mom. Of course, after she had got grown, she was telling her mom that this had happened to her and her sisters. Like I said, I don't want to read all of it because Sisterhood is a really long one. Well, not really long, but let's see where we can end this one. But a lot has happened, like I said, with her. Let's see where we can end it, though. Okay. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to see where I could start, guys. I'm sorry. It started out normal. Okay, something that happened in the summertime, guys. We're gonna pick up. It says it started out as a normal, uneventful summer day, and my family and our next door neighbors, the Owenses, were all sitting on a porch talking. Now, this was at 128. So you guys know in 128, this is one of the old apartment buildings where they lived. The Owenses had the apartment that we eventually would occupy once they had moved out. They were a large family just like us. We were very close and would just play together all the time. As the adults enjoyed the calm of the porch, we kids running in the inside the house, periodically ducking our heads outside, while we youngins frolicked without a care in the world. Mrs. Owens and my mom suddenly blurted, "Look at that monster. OMG, what is he doing?" Of course, we ran outside to see what they were talking about. "Look!" He ran into the backyard. We exclaimed with excitement, absolutely unaware of where this seemingly innocent ride would later take us. As we ran to see the monster in the backyard, our parents screamed behind us, "Don't you go near that man." We saw him, a man in the middle of the backyard with no shoes on, jeans that were torn at the leg, and a shirt that was haphazardly buttoned. He just stood, rocking back and forth, and groaning. His eyes didn't even register us at all, even though he was looking straight at us. Our parents weren't joking. If he wasn't a monster, he would certainly do until a real one came along. We screamed at him, "Look at us! Woohoo! Look, monster! We're here!" We were terrified, but playing it off brilliantly. In our minds, with our rude taunts, suddenly a stray cat we had unofficially adopted came walking over to this man. We screamed, "Cat!" We hadn't named him yet. "Cat, get away from him!" We screamed at the top of our lungs, hoping to startle the cat enough for it to run away. We certainly didn't have the guts to run near the monster to get him, so we just kept screaming at the cat. To the man not to pick up our kind of pet. Suddenly, the rocking entity that looked every bit a part of a horror movie villain picked the cat up by the back of its neck. Our screams got louder and louder. If he heard us, we couldn't tell because he didn't respond to us. Instead, he looked at the cat, stroked it almost lovingly, then calmly broke its neck. Wow, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, suddenly, like a switch had turned on, he finally registered us. His childish tormentors growled, and he charged full speed ahead at us. We ran inside our apartment building like hunted animals, clawing over each other, scrambling, crying. We made it up the stairs. When we looked around and out of breath, crying, we discovered Anita wasn't there. We called the police. My dad ran around the city looking for her. We cried. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to us, Anita was being hunted. She later told us as we, her sisters and friends, ran to the apartment, she went in another direction, and soon the monster saw her and began his hunt. Anita shared how she was running, hiding behind trees, the huge rock at Jenks Park. She tried being quiet to not give away her positions, but he was hunting her. It was as if it was a war, and everywhere she hid served only as a temporary safe haven until he again spotted her and continued the chase. While my sister was literally running for her life, we had no idea where she was. The cops came to our home, but they didn't know either. Then they saw her running down Washington Street from Jinks Park. She was out of breath, crying hysterically. She ran into the market across the street from our house. The bloodied monster, he's right behind her. The butcher from the Colombian market came out with a machete and screamed, "You stop!" Miraculously, this real life Friday the 13th Jason stopped, frozen, limp. He then put his head down as if someone took a battery out of him. We watched the cops put a straitjacket on him and put him on a gurney and into a padded wagon. We later found out that he had just come back from Vietnam, where he had spent months in the woods eating all kinds of rodents and cats. His PTSD was so bad that his wife had thrown him out of the house that day. Anita was always the brawn one in the family, the survivor, the fighter. But even some of the mightiest warriors have wounds that leave them debilitated. This incident threatened to leave Anita feeling depleted. The blood on the floor that belonged to my mom or blood on the streets from the damaged souls that were encountered needed mounds of salve. And we didn't have the knowledge or the tools to grasp that. We just didn't. Okay, guys, so that is the end part of chapter 7. And oh my gosh, what a ride! Um, Again, like I said, I just want to continue with just speaking on this wonderful woman's life or reading these little excerpts from the book. It is just, ooh, it is, it does make you cringe. It does make you kind of sad a little bit when you think of all the trauma and traumatic things that have happened in her life and her sister's life and her parents' life and just what they dealt with growing up. It's amazing to see the awesome woman she is today. When I look at um, how to Get Away with Murder and how she played Annalise Keating and the times where she had to play these different roles and ways, it's like I feel like she had to have pulled from something from her childhood or something from her youth, and just times of like pushing herself and doing something. It's like amazing. This is how she's such a great actress to this day. It's weird that some of these things had to become a coping mechanism for her to kind of put herself in another place in her body or kind of have these out of body experiences and like kind of take herself out of herself, in order to escape traumatic things. But it's also working, I guess, a little bit in her favor, because of what wonderful works she does to this day. Again, I will always have the utmost respect for this lady because she overcame so much to become just this awesome woman that we see today before us in movies, TV, and just all over. Again, happy Women's Month, guys. Happy Women's Day today, but National Women's History Month as well. And we're going to keep going on with this story, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I did want to bring up one memory, the hot comb thing. Oh my goodness, because I like that you guys leave different memories and things like that down in the comments with these. And I just wanted to kind of interject and put one of my memories. Y'all, I definitely was the victim of the hot comb situation as a kid. Our mom definitely did that to us every year for Easter. We had to get that hair pressed. Oh my goodness. And that was not fun. And honey, when that hot hair Like I had like a flashback when I read that, and I'm like, when that hot hair hits your skin, oh my goodness. I remember one Easter, I think I was turning maybe 8 or 9 ish, and getting my hair pressed. We were in the kitchen, and I think I drifted off to sleep a little bit, and my head kind of dropped. But when I did that, it burned me. Oh, guys, I jumped up, I ran out of the kitchen, and my mom's like, "Where are you going? Like, what are you doing?" Like, I had to come back, but like, yeah, I do not miss those days at all. So I kind of wanted to just put that in there. But again, thank you guys so much for coming back and listening to my readings. I hope you are continuing to enjoy them. I know this one was kind of a hard one to listen to, but this is like all the different experiences that make Miss Davis the woman she is today. Thank you guys. Catch you in the next one.